Hey guys, welcome to week 16 in our Ezra Nehemiah devotional. This week we find ourselves in Nehemiah chapter 6. So far we've seen opposition both from the outside and from inside. We've seen opposition from enemy leaders who are outside of the people of God, outside of Israel. And now, or last week, we saw opposition from the inside. We saw the people of God oppressing other people who were also the Israelites and were people of God. And now we're going to see a mixture of both. We see these foreign leaders who send out this letter, who create this rumor that Nehemiah and the Israelites are planning to dominate and rule over the surrounding nations. And the whole intention of this letter is to create a panic and is to stir up fear within the people of God. That when they do complete the building of the wall, that things actually will not go well for them. That things actually will fall apart and will actually lead to their destruction and ruin. We even see the commissioning of Shemaiah, who is this guy who likely is a priest, who is an Israelite, who actually is brought into this by the foreign leaders to help confront Nehemiah to deter him from doing the work that he is doing. And there's a lot that we can learn from this chapter and take from this, but particularly I want us to focus on verse 14 and this prayer that Nehemiah gives out. He says, "Remember Tobiah and Sanballat, oh my God, according to these things that they did, and also the prophetess Noadiah, and the rest of the prophets who wanted to make me afraid." You may read that and be like, well, what's the point of that? That's a weird prayer. That's a strange thing to say. Well, what Nehemiah is saying, what he's taking to the Lord is saying, Lord, remember me and remember my enemies and the things that they have done. And in him doing that, what he is calling God to do is he is calling on God to act. He's calling on God in dependency. He is looking to God, recognizing that I myself can't do this. I can't accomplish this. I'm getting, opposed from both outside and from the inside of your people, God. I need you. I'm dependent upon you for this to go well. See, that is the posture of the Christian, as somebody who recognizes we are to recognize that God is in control of all things and that we are to be dependent upon him in all things. And that, in fact, everything that you and I do in our lives, even to the very smallest bits and pieces of our lives, even giving a cup of water to somebody, as the Apostle Paul will later say, is all to be done for God's glory and for him and in dependence upon him. See, in our culture, if you go on social media, if you post something about, maybe that was disappointing. Maybe you post something about a job that you didn't get, or you post something about maybe a test that you failed, or whatever it is. Typically, when we post things, you get a lot of responses that say, "No, like you can do this. It's you'll get them next time. Like there will be better days. Like you can do it again. Like just try harder. You can do this." But it seems really good. It seems like that's the appropriate thing to say, and it seems like when we receive that, no, yeah, that is empowering. It's really encouraging. It's great, but the result of that, the fallout of that, can be really catastrophic. See, the fallout either is that you continually work harder and harder and harder to get the thing that you want, but you don't get it, and you fall into hopelessness because you think, well, everyone said that I could do it. I believed that I could do it, and yet it didn't work out. What's going on? Or it also could go to the other end of the spectrum where you do attain and get the thing that you were working towards, that people encourage you to work toward, but that when you do get it, it's not quite what you thought it would be. And that it actually is quite disappointing compared to what you thought initially it was going to be like when you did achieve and receive this thing that you wanted to get. See, in Nehemiah, though, we see something very different. We see him recognizing, God, I can't do all of this. I can't. And I'm dependent upon you to do it, for you to accomplish the work. I cannot accomplish the work. You, Lord, are the one who can now. See, that is the posture of you and I. That is to be the posture of you and I in the world today. It's not this, kind of like you can do it attitude. Rather, it is an attitude of humility where we go before God, recognizing that we cannot do all things, but that in fact he can do all things. And that's why in the Lord's Prayer that Jesus gives us is Lord, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Not my will be done, but your will be done. And beautifully, we see that repeated later by Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he says, Lord, take this cup from me, but your will be done. Complete dependence on the Father, complete dependence on him to accomplish the work that he had willed and set out to accomplish. That is the posture that you and I are to have. And that's the posture that we learn here from Nehemiah, that life is remarkably complex and life is remarkably difficult and challenging and convoluted even at times. And yet God sustains us. And yet God is going to accomplish the work that he has set out to accomplish, and will accomplish what he set out to accomplish within each of us individually and also us collectively and corporately as his church. And so be encouraged by this, that you can't do all things, that you cannot accomplish all the things that you set out to accomplish, but that we are dependent upon God and his will to be done and not our own will to be done. Thank you, guys.